I'm here in beautiful Perth, which is sunny today, with the lead consulting partner for BDO. And we've just come out of a roundtable on AI augmentation for workforces. So I know, Kristy, you're doing a lot of work with clients in this space. So I just wanted to ask you some things and share it with the LinkedIn world. So, Kristy, this is your AI workforce maturity model from defense to offense. And we've got a great analogy going here with soccer. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So as a very proud soccer mum, I couldn't help myself but put the football analogy to something that's quite critical with our clients today, particularly when we're starting to explore AI augmented workforces and the way in which companies are, embracing and exploring that component. And this is a really great way to start thinking about the journey that you can go on from defense to sort of more of an offense position. So let's start here first with, holding the line. Absolutely, you want your goalkeepers right here on the goal line, blocking those threats. When we think about this stage of maturity, this is really, that risk, compliance, legal lens. They really dominate the AI agenda, and they are more concerned, they're cautious, they want the controls in place. And so that's often, a place that companies start, and then they start thinking about how do we balance that risk and opportunity lens to move us and progress us forward. So, if you think about it, again, we're using the soccer analogy, start running your drills, building your structure, running plays. How do you move it into more that defensive formation now on the field? So, early pilots, a little bit of governance starts to emerge, but adoption is still fragmented in your organisation. From a leadership perspective, functional leaders experiment and they're still setting controls. As we keep moving forward, some will say it all happens in the midfield. And my son is an absolute midfield star, if I say so myself, but that's all about controlling the play and moving forward. So progress and acceleration starts to happen here. But you do need executive sponsorship, and that's the accelerator. As we move forward from controlling the play on the front foot, creating the plays, that's where you own the space. And we talk about productivity gains in the workforce. If we don't control where they spend their time or how they fill that newfound time they've got, then we lose that productivity gain as an organisation, and individuals will fill it. The ideal, I'm not going to say end point, but if we get to that offensive position, that's really where you've got risk and opportunity balanced beautifully in that championship mindset. I think one of the things that we did talk about in today's session was around AI literacy in our workforce and the engagement of our workers through this process. And what we are seeing, particularly in market, but also in the clients, is where you do get to engage your workforce early on is when you get those gains and that acceleration a lot faster. So board executives are champions, workforce plays with AI fluency, and certainly the external partners across your organisation are wholly engaged.
And the little dots are what the participants put on.
One of the things we asked all of our attendees today was to come in and think about where does their organisation sit on this maturity model. And you can see here we've got some sitting on the goal line, blocking threats, still in that very defensive sort of mode. We've got others starting to move out of the blocks and move a little bit to more of a defensive formation. A lot sitting in the midfield. So that was a really great discussion around the table today. How have they been adopting it? What's next for them? And how they engage their workforce a lot more deeply. And then we've got an outlier certainly sitting up here with that championship mindset. Very forward thinking, absolutely fail fast, and, a fantastic executive sponsorship.
Brilliant. And was that last dot one of your clients?
Yes, absolutely.
I wonder they're on the right-hand side.
They are absolutely on the right-hand side and, had some fantastic stories and learnings to share with all the participants today.
Brilliant. So what were the things that you learned?
I learned a number of things. When we think about the first part here, one of the great things that came up was around using your existing risk and governance frameworks. The AI risk and governance should really be utilising what's already in your risk enterprise framework. There shouldn't need to be another AI lens over the top of it. So that's one, blocker that can definitely slow you down more so. The risks are the same, but we're just thinking about them a little bit differently. The other thing I learned was where do you, place this AI strategy in your organisation? And we're seeing different companies sit it with IT, sit it with HR, sit it in strategy or executive. And what I think we learned today was having more of a joint venture arrangement and giving flexibility to those who are charged with the responsibility of augmenting workforce with an AI lever has most success, because then that gets across and works together in a collaborative way with IT, with security, with cyber, with risk, but then also with strategy and making sure you're also customer and employee facing.
And obviously, the Beamable tool is just one little aspect of, helping the workforce along. What's the sort of reason why you want to, or I guess why we're partnering?
Absolutely. And I love the Beamable tool. So what that does is it gives us the ability to work with clients to really accelerate their understanding of that deep work task level that we haven't been able to get to on our own, or that takes manual hours and interventions and observation and time and motion studies. That's very time consuming, and also time consuming for the clients and their workers. So Beamable accelerates that knowledge. It's also got, already sort of existing AI to understand, typical roles and functions, but then it's got a beautiful way it engages with your workforce around, what energizes your workers in the workforce. And I think there's some unintended consequences when we only do it top down. And this tool gives us the ability to do both top down and bottom up and bring that integration together for a much more, accurate picture of where do we define that task that is actually, able to use AI and be augmented.
Thank you.
Thank you.